And now, Kyle and Steven present another episode of the Go F Yourself podcast. It's Fix. Really? Well, that's embarrassing. The Go Fix Yourself podcast.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Go Fix Your podcast. It's the podcast where we like to say we're fixing our worldview one conversation at a time.
Woo, Kyle! You did it!
I'm Kyle, and I kind of fudged it up, but I don't give a fudge today. Sitting next to me is one of the guys that has the shortest stint in Target history.
Oh, God, that's a deep
Bringing
cut.
it back is
Deep
Steven Cornfield. I believe it was 2 days?
It was less than a week.
Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah, and I got fired from Target under a week.
Yeah, were you getting 401k yet or benefits or anything yet?
No,
or they cashed that all out?
They have a 90-day term, and if you do something wrong in that 90 days, there's no questions asked, you're gone.
You had a target on your back from the get-go.
Yeah.
I would have never known.
And,
well, somebody needs to know now.
Yeah, everybody knows.
Everybody knows now.
I still have my Target badge, though, with my picture on it. It's hanging on our refrigerator.
They didn't even finish spelling his name before he got fired. It just says staff on it. But, well, we have a very special episode today because we have an old friend of mine and a sort of old friend of Steven. Yeah, not as old.
And also, I think, so since the beginning of us doing guests, which was like episode 80 or something like that,
it's
we've been trying to get the person across from us on for a long time. You're very busy. And, without further ado, it's Chris Bryant.
The fittest. He's
Bryant.
Fit as a fiddle. He is the guy that every guy wants to be.
That's true.
All the women want this guy too. I've just
all
been
the
jealous.
guys want this guy too.
Well, that is true. I remember being
everybody loves him. Going
down to the Anchor Bar back years ago. 3 or 4, whiskey sodas, and I'm like, Chris is good looking. I mean. I don't know. If he comes on to me, am I going to push him away? I don't know. I don't know. So, Chris.
That's how we all feel.
Everybody feels that way.
Flattered.
I know.
had no idea either.
Yeah.
Some things I've always kept to myself, but I thought, you know what? Why not say it on a podcast?
I do have a good memory of, I think it was the Avenue where you guys all wore white pants or something.
Oh, yeah.
White jean. Fun jean night. That's what it is.
And you guys all wore white jeans.
Yeah. So. Yep. Before we get into the typical podcast, I just have to tell this quick story because I used to work at Gap for a short period of time. And I walked in there.
How short? Was it shorter than Target?
It was 3 months.
So you were longer.
I didn't get fired. I quit. And I go to the clearance rack and I see these luxury quality white jeans on clearance for $6.98. And what do you do when you find a deal like that? You call your friends. And you say, what size are you? And Venmo me later. So I think there was about 6.
I don't think Venmo was around
It
then.
probably wasn't.
I think we switched them out for not a super important
we're
detail.
Like, hey, PayPal me or something.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, man,
regardless, we all got our jeans warm out that night. We all got beat up by a bunch of people. No, but
this photo floats around. It's floating around somewhere.
I know.
all the memories.
I do remember seeing a photo.
That'll
of
go
that
up
too.
with the episode.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be the art.
That's
we
great.
should
I
post
have that picture for
I
sure.
could just see it now on the interwebs.
Yeah, it's legendary. So what we like to say on the podcast is his parents are always our biggest fans. And
Rick and Carol.
Mm-hmm. They're over on the East Coast. They listen all the time. And we like to say they don't really know who we know up here. And so every time we have somebody on, we like you to kind of tell them what you do and what you're doing currently.
Just a real quick
snippet. A recap of who CB is.
Sure thing.
CB.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, hello, Rick and Carol.
Hello.
So my name's Chris Bryant. I'm a strength and fat loss coach here in Anchorage. I help people build strength, build confidence, and also I do that through health and fitness. So I do weightlifting, weight training, personal training. And I also do some strength and conditioning for high schools and Basically just all around health and fitness.
Just you're all about the body.
I'm all about the body
and mind. Yeah.
And it kind of I mean, you can't really do one without the other.
Right. And you forgot to mention you are a male model, right?
Yeah,
you gotta throw that out there.
Okay, yeah. So I dabble. I dabble.
Was it Filson?
Yeah. So
yeah.
So I did a photo shoot for Filson last spring.
That was huge.
That was pretty slick.
I remember seeing that. I'm like, holy shit, that's big.
Yeah,
that's real big.
Yeah, that was such a cool time too.
And so where was that at that you got to do that at?
So we went out to Shalatna Lake Lodge. We took one of the small planes like Regal Air.
Talk about luxury,
right? Yeah.
Oh baby.
So it's about Shalatna Lake Lodge is about an hour. It's about an hour flight from Anchorage, and you land on this lake. Completely frozen. You snow machine to the lodge, and there's just like groups of, probably like 12 or 13 dudes from Filson.
Oh wow!
They're making, they got all their camera gear, and then there's like 4 or 5 of us that are just, basically acting for this video piece, and just wearing the clothes. And
I kind of feel
like
like
to keep them.
You know what? They didn't let us keep them.
They took them back.
That's a bummer.
Okay, Filson.
I always wondered if people who do those high commercials, I'm like, they probably get
well, I mean, if it's
sized
a paid gig and stuff, they're kind of already compensated.
So they compensated us really well. But
right.
But I was like, hey, do we get to keep this?
Where's the other
And
perks?
they actually blatantly said no to you?
They were like, maybe. They gave you a maybe.
And then never got back to you.
I don't know. I mean, like in basketball too, like we try to keep our uniforms at the end of our season, but they don't let us keep them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same thing where the loophole is you just kind of you just don't give them back.
Steal.
Yeah, you just steal.
I got you.
Yeah. So
I get it.
So we try to do it, but then they ask for them back. And so it's just like, all right, here you go.
I don't know why, but I know I saw some of the stuff from the Filson shoots, but I kept thinking of Zoolander where you're in brand new Filson stuff in rugged Alaska. You're boots aren't broken in. You throw this bag over your back, and walking through the snow. And it's clearly 13 people that have never seen snow before. They're like, yeah, you just kind of act tough in the snow,
There were some moments where I felt like that.
Right. Where I think he's in the mines in Zoolander where he's and he's got the mark.
Give us the
blue steel on
blue steel. Yeah. Give us the.
So they were like,
bite your lip, Chris. Bite your lip.
Yeah.
Bite it.
Act cold, but sexy. Cold and sexy.
So I guess my version of that, was I've never worked an auger before. I'm from SouthEast Alaska. Originally.
Right.
So we don't really touch too much ice.
Yes. So they're drill a hole.
But I think I'm not sure, but I think in these guys' minds, they're like, oh, Alaskans, they just everybody does hardcore shit.
Yeah.
And we get out there, and there's a director who's kind of orchestrating all of the all of us, and he picks and chooses who's going to do
different shots.
Yeah. And I was chosen to do to work the auger. Basically it's like that drill that you get to the ice for ice fishing. Mm-hmm. So I was doing that, and I've never worked one of these things before. Yeah. But
Chris, you have to put it on the ice. You just hold it up like a machine gun.
Bite your lip. Bite it.
There was the snow or the ice was too thick, right?
Oh yeah.
And so I'm trying to get it down in there, and
oh no,
I almost lose it.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure you're burning out the
motor, and we didn't end up getting to the ice, but they ended up making a shot out of it anyway.
Okay, so. Good.
Take your shirt off, Chris. It's a better shot if you're not less clothes. I could just,
it's for a clothing company, but take it off.
The shirt's got to go. Yeah. You're getting hot from drilling. Yeah. Well, that's fun. I mean,
cool.
You kind of have. Yeah, exactly. I would agree. I mean, a lot of us, we've turned down a lot of modeling gigs because
they came to us first.
They just didn't really fit.
It wasn't the right fit. Yeah, I was lucky to be the right fit for that.
Slim Fast was one of them. Weight Watchers was another. I was just not now, guys.
Philly cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we turned those down. Actually.
Yeah.
We should keep that one.
So at least it's not those kind of that medication.
Well, you never know.
Well,
I'm holding my breath.
ED. We have it too.
Yeah.
Just stare right at the camera.
Yeah.
Guys like us.
We all have problems. Some of ours are different. Some are harder, some are not, problems. And so I feel like I would do really well in a read for one of those,
You'd be really good improv.
Look,
Kyle, what's the first thing that comes to the top of the dome?
Yeah.
Harder.
Harder, yeah. That's what I would say.
No, Kyle, that's not going to work.
So I know you have a long history with Alaska and growing up and all those different things. You've grown up in a place that I feel like a lot of people just have never visited for the most part because it's a very small place.
Sure.
And so why don't you kind of take us back to like where you grew up and what that was like?
Yeah.
Was that the
Back to the Future?
Oh, yeah.
We couldn't
Sorry,
tell.
guys, I'm trying.
Yeah, I was like, the guy's got
trying to do like a
trumpet
segue
over here.
See, that's where we need to give like the little
The sound
interludes,
effects,
like
yeah.
bum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum,
Take me back.
That seems like it'd be something that'd be really easy for you to do.
Yeah,
We
we probably could.
We
could probably
we're
do
just
that.
lazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly,
Honestly, don't
Anyway.
lose that. Don't
Yeah.
ever stop.
Yeah.
Don't lose that spark you have.
Yeah. So, so like I said, I grew up in Metlakatla, Alaska, but man, just getting there was kind of it was literally an epic journey. I have 2 younger sisters and my mom, and we took the ferry. It's just really unique to get there. So Metlakatla is like on the inside passage. So
Yeah, do the bam.
yeah. So if Anchorage is here, Juneau's here. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a camera right
Juneau's
here.
Metlakatla is like its own little island here.
Oh, you're way down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way
Oh
down.
my gosh, I had no idea that was that far. Actually.
Way down.
British Columbia is
I'm
like
already
right here.
being fixed.
Seattle's like right here.
Oh wow, so you're almost closer to Seattle than you are Anchorage.
Exactly.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, we were really poor. So we had just enough money to get ferry tickets from Bellingham, which is basically the gateway to the inside passage,
Right.
So we go through there, and my sisters and I, and then we get to Metlakatla, and I was 6 years old, so I remember it's the first time I saw ice.
Oh wow.
Because I was born in LA originally, so Southern
It's a
California.
city slicker.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
so I was like, it was all concrete,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the beach.
Sun, palm trees.
And then like, we're going to Metlakatla.
I knew we had ties in Alaska, but I was just,
Yeah.
there was a bit of a shock there. My first day of school I just saw all of this like glass on the ground.
Yeah,
And
when
I
you're
was like-
6, you're like,
Yeah.
what is this shiny clear stuff?
What is this shiny clear stuff on the ground? And I'm just like, I was like picking it up, and I heard like someone yell at me just like from their porch, just like, that's ice.
That's ice, you idiot.
Basically.
Yeah. I'm 6.
Get back in your house, Grandpa.
So you get to Metlakatla, and I know there's somewhere that's near Metlakatla. What school is it that a lot of people go to? A few of the people we knew from the golf course all went to the school nearby or another city.
So we're close to Ketchikan.
Ketchikan, yeah.
So Ketchikan's probably the
nearest
big city.
big hub.
Big hub, yeah.
Yeah, and so you're growing up. How many people are roughly in Metlakatla?
At that time, it was about 900,
900.
give or
Okay.
take.
So I mean, like grocery store, one
Grocery store, one like deli place,
A school that's got K through 12.
school that's got K through 12, a clinic, and a weather station.
Nice.
Before that, I mean, it's primarily like a fishing community. Fishing is like
Yeah, because you didn't you say that the fishing there is like world class? Like people, is it?
so actually, this is the only Native American reservation in Alaska.
Oh, okay.
So that community is it's closed off to the state's regulations for the most part.
Oh, really?
So I believe it's like, and I could get my numbers fudged up a little bit, but it's like about 1,000 feet from the shore.
Oh, gotcha.
The people that are members of that community have water access and can fish exclusively out of there without any other.
Yeah, I think that was the thing you were saying is we'd have to go with you. I think.
Right.
And
You want to go catch some halibut, you got to
Yeah.
get your license, and then you can come up with me. Yeah.
Sweet.
So we couldn't visit
You could visit.
I'm Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
Clearly. I'm 6'2" and gorgeous.
I look just like him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You could visit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like
It's open for tourism.
like if Kyle and I showed up on the boat, they wouldn't be like,
No, you wouldn't get.
"Where's Chris?"
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
We would be welcome, warm embraces and
You probably
everything.
get some funny looks. Like, what are you here
Yeah.
for? What are you doing?
There's only one male model allowed to be from here. Yeah. I could see that.
Okay. All right. So Metlakatla, right? Did I say that right? Metlakatla?
Yeah.
Okay. You're there. You're 6 years old. I mean, like, I can only imagine. Like, I mean, I kind of did it going from like New York to Alaska.
Mhm.
Still a little bit different, but like going from LA to Metlakatla, like, what were you interested in like back then? Like, and then were you just like holed up? Did you find friends?
Oh yeah. So I was interested in, and we're around that same era. I was just like, I liked the Ninja Turtles. I wanted to.
Chicks. Yeah.
I didn't really care about them at
At
that time.
6, you're a little
Yeah.
young. Yeah.
Yeah,
I get
a little
that.
young.
Yeah.
A little young. Kyle.
You never know.
Yeah, he started young.
Yeah.
Kyle, yeah, you started young,
I'm
bro.
an animal. You know?
But yeah, I mean, I was just, the big thing there was basketball. And I just had nothing. I had no interest in it whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I thought I was gonna do like, I don't know, like martial arts or something.
Mhm.
And when I was in LA, I played t-ball, so I thought I was gonna kind of go up the baseball ranks. But there wasn't baseball in Metlakatla, so basketball was the only thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So was there like the school gym kind of where you would play, or was it outside kind of court?
They start basketball really early there. Kind of ahead of its time. I think it's called Taekwondo Hoopers, and they start kids as early as like 4 or 5.
Nice.
And they put the lower hoops down. They start running games around that time.
Yeah.
So they're real serious about their b-ball.
Yeah, they gamble on the kids.
Exactly.
There's a lot
What'd you say?
I was just saying they gamble on the kids. There's people out there with money. I got that team.
Yeah.
20 on Chris.
Yeah.
20 on Chris.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't pick up basketball until I started like I kind of got bullied a little bit when I first got there.
What are their names?
Yeah.
I know.
They still live out there?
They're still there. Yep.
Yeah.
They're still there. I think.
Kyle and I are coming. We're Chris.
Yeah, I can play basketball too. So.
But basketball kind of turned out like it was definitely a good defense mechanism from just getting shit on.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the thing is like and so this was around 6 that you started picking it up, or was it a couple years after you got there?
A couple years after.
Yeah. So right in those prime years where you got to get kids involved in sports. I feel like if you want them to like really get good at something, they got to start in that kind of like 10.
Right.
10 years old seems to be key, because then they got 8 years until college. And so you got involved heavily at about 10. Yep. And you were a natural then?
I was dunking on these fools.
I was crushed. I think I had a knack for scoring.
Yeah.
And
you just
then
knew how to find the
That's
hole.
a very humble way of saying I was really good.
Yeah.
I was good.
I took to it easily.
I took to it pretty easy. And it helped though, because like both my parents were college basketball players too.
Oh, so they were able to like coach you?
They were like
stuff?
kind of. I mean, exactly. My dad coached me my very first year in the Taekwondo Hoopers program.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And my mom would play open gyms. My dad would play in tournaments, and we would travel around SouthEast Alaska, and I would go with them. And I just grew up watching them play too. So, I mean, there was that.
Yeah. Nice. And so that takes you kind of high school in Metlakatla too?
Yeah. So, we worked our way through Taekwondo Hoopers into high school. And high school, we were a 3A at the time. So, I mean, there's about 100 kids.
Right.
But basically, I was good enough to play varsity, and that was always just kind of like a big deal when you're a freshman.
Mm. As a freshman.
So I got to start a few games, and then our point guard became eligible like in January. Mm-hmm. So I ended up taking a backseat to that, but I got to start a few games, and I got a lot of like big time like high school experience for a freshman. I thought that was kind of a big confidence builder as I played in like later years for sure.
Yeah. So freshman Chris what's he thinking about like the next few years? Is freshman Chris being like, I want to play college ball, or is freshman Chris like, I'm not even thinking about sophomore year yet? Like, were you kind of thinking about the future in regards to sports, or
when I look back on that, man, yeah, I was thinking I was going to be a pro. I was getting.
Oh, you had the dreams.
I had the dreams.
Yeah.
My parents kind of like instilled that in me. It was just like,
I've always wondered that if that's healthy or not.
Yeah.
To like tell kids like, you could be a professional and make tons of money. Because like
what do you tell your kid?
You're gonna be a loser. You got zero. I tell Caroline, she's 3. You have no chance at anything.
I mean, you
got bad genes.
They can only go up. I
you
guess.
got no skills. I'm sorry.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
you can't even talk.
Yeah, I mean, you could be the basketball, I guess. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
So I've always wondered that, because I feel like as a kid, freshman or whatever you are, there's a lot of people that are always kind of pushing you towards that like big goal of like, you could be on TV and making millions. And I feel like that's what so many kids are like thinking is success in sports.
Right.
Because just like anything, it's always the pinnacle is like the definition of success. And 99% of kids will not even sniff college athletics. And so I'm always wondering, like, is that healthy to tell kids that, or should we be like, let's aim for the next step, which is college and then varsity, starting and all these things. So, your parents telling you like you could go pro. I mean, it sounds like they were very supportive of a big dream.
Right.
I also feel like you shouldn't crap on that either, though, if the kid has the dream.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I feel like some parents push their kids to do that, and some parents are just very supportive of their kid that's a dreamer.
Yeah.
So.
Man, there were some times where I was just like, man, I wish I kind of had the parents that were a little bit more like, just do your best.
Yeah.
Just do your best, honey.
Yeah.
But, it was a pretty intense upbringing, but at the same time, it got me to where it got me a Division I scholarship. And for coming out of a place like that small, that's just like unheard of. I think there's like 3 people out of SouthEast Alaska that did that.
Yeah.
Damn, got a D1.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. And
was there a big signing celebration and everything like you see on TV where all 100 people in the high school come and show up kind of thing?
It wasn't, I didn't have like an actual signing event, but when I graduated from high school, they made like a huge thing about it.
Oh, nice.
And like the whole town was there. And
I've just been to a signing recently for a high school girl that got a golf scholarship.
Whoa.
Oh, I saw. Yeah, you guys were all
Abigail.
there.
So we all went there, and I was like, this may be one of the, I mean, it was very small and very kind of like private, like, she's going to, I think it's D2.
Yeah.
St. Louis, Missouri College.
Good for her.
Yeah, it's awesome because it's unheard of for golf from Alaska to get a scholarship.
Yeah.
But I was just like, if somebody would have told me like this is like people would come like celebrate you, the coach would fly up and like, you get to sign this thing that says like I'm committed to this. You always see it with college basketball and football.
Right.
But like other sports, you don't see it a lot. But I was like, man, if I would have known this was like a possibility, maybe I would have tried harder. I don't know. Probably not. But it's just like, I feel like that's only become more recent, like in the past 10, 12 years. It's like really put an emphasis on kids getting to like go do a college sport and signing and stuff. I'm like, that's so cool.
Well, because college is only getting more and more expensive.
College is getting more expensive, and it just seems like there's like a whole bunch of them now.
Yeah, and then also, but like a D1 scholarship is like full ride, right?
D1 scholarship's a full ride. You're committed for. They usually do them year over year with basketball. I didn't really know about like the business side of it until I actually got there, but I mean, there was just, full ride.
So where'd you go?
I went to Drake University for...
Drake? Drake has a university?
Drake. The Champagne Poppy.
The Drake.
Okay. He's got his hands in everything, that guy.
He's there,
What can't he do?
He's on campus all the time. One thing I was going to ask before college, in high school, did you have kind of an emphasis on like, I mean, I feel like you've always been in shape, right? Like, I feel like naturally are in shape and you've taken advantage of that. And I could be wrong, but in high school, like, was that something you kind of like?
I was the scrawniest, like.
I do remember seeing like you were skinny.
I was scrawny. I would get tossed around. In high school, I guess you'd kind of say like I was like a good skill player.
Mm-hmm.
But if I wanted to play at the next level, I needed to get more athletic, which means, in basketball, it means just like you need to get bigger, you need to be quicker, you need to be faster, stronger. Yeah, exactly.
All the things.
I was lucky. I had a strength coach. He coached in Idaho, and he was like a USA weightlifting guy. He was a PE teacher, and he just like popped into our little community for one semester. And he just like took me under his wing. And
hey, Twig, get over here. Basically, show you something.
After school, he would do like the Olympic lifts, like the clean and jerk, the snatch, and
oh wow, you learned those young then.
I learned them in high school. Yeah, I learned them like my sophomore, junior year in high school.
Damn.
And man, that gave me a huge advantage in college.
Yeah, and so then you find out you get a full ride scholarship to Drake. And where's Drake again?
Drake's in Des Moines, Iowa.
Des Moines, Iowa. Yeah. Because every time I mentioned, I'm like, oh yeah, my buddy played at Drake, so and
where's Drake?
They're like, where is it? I'm like,
Idaho?
It's in the U.S.
Yeah,
my guy, somewhere. So what was that like when your family found out that whole situation? Because I know you have two younger sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was everybody just like, were you the prize of the family at that point kind of thing? Like,
oh yeah,
this kid's got he's going places.
Yeah, there was definitely that. I was kind of like, everyone kind of like wanted to,
pile on
and
just touch you.
It was cool. It was like our community is so
small, right?
So small and like locked in, and they grew up watching me. I grew up with their kids, and so it was just like, it felt like it was more of like a community thing than anything.
Yeah, it's like everybody's a proud dad.
Everybody's a proud dad, or a proud aunt, or a proud cousin, or a proud relative, essentially.
Yeah, I can sense that.
Yeah, so it was, for an 18-year-old kid, you're just like, fuck, that is heavy.
Yeah.
Did you feel like a baller?
I felt like I was some hot shit.
Yeah. All the girls in Metlakatla were like, I'm marrying that guy.
10 of them.
Yeah.
In this case, not really, because it's so small. Like, we're like related to everybody.
Yeah. You gotta spread your wings.
So, so catch a can, catch a can, or you like
go to a nearby.
You go to a nearby community. Yeah.
So you basically spent most of your childhood in a small population of 900 people,
right?
And Des Moines is not like a tiny town, but you go to a D1 college. Was that like just an eye opener for you?
Culture
did
shock.
Things just be like, oh, I can do whatever I want in college?
Man, just like going to a gas station or like having access to
with
fast
a
food.
$50 bill. Oh
boy,
I could do some damage.
Man, restaurants.
Yeah.
Right.
Is there even a restaurant in Metlakatla?
There is now. Not that back then. There was just like the one deli.
It's called the Met.
It's called the Mini Mart. The Metlakatla Mini Mart.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're close.
It's got a ring
bad.
to it.
Yeah.
And so you go to this big city, roughly. And so what was college experience like? Because as a D1 athlete, you have to take that relatively serious, because you probably have to be eligible with grades. You probably have to still practice, take care of your body, but also the college experience is the opposite of that. A lot of times for people.
I would know.
Yeah.
For sure.
I packed on the old freshman 15.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I definitely
and
know
I'm
that,
still trying to burn it off.
Yeah.
So what was that like? What was college in a nutshell for you like at Drake?
Just like from where I grew up to Drake, it was just like a huge culture shock. But also, this is my first time of having just like a full independence.
Yeah, no parents around.
No parents around. The only real accountability was the coaches, but they're kind of on your ass anyway.
Right. Did you know anybody prior to going there?
I didn't know anybody.
So you're going there blind. They're like, this kid's from where
exactly.
in Alaska?
Yeah.
Didn't know it. They had a cool setup though. It was a private school, so they had money, and Drake was it was a big basketball school, so there's a lot of support.
Sure.
So they wanted their athletes to show up and report for training in the summertime before, August, which is usually when most student athletes show up to, for the actual start of school. So I went there probably like in June or July. I took a class, so I got a little bit of a head start. I was already acclimated to the campus by then.
Nice.
I was already lifting weights. I was already playing with the team before August even started. So from the athletic side, I felt pretty good. From the academics, I was kind of still getting used to it, but in terms of like structure, I already kind of had it going, and I was really lucky in that regard. I don't think that happens anywhere else.
Yeah. That's got to be real nice to, like you said, get acclimated.
Right.
I would imagine, because I go from like Anchorage, where I'm used to, no traffic, to like LA or New York City. I'm like, oh God, like culture shock is real.
Right.
So if you were just like picked out of Metlakatla and then just dropped in like full on college, I feel like that would have been a lot harder.
It was a lot. I didn't really start experiencing that until more like the fall. Summertime is just kind of like the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
But then, the fall kind of happened. People started coming onto campus, other students, girls started coming onto campus too.
Ow!
So
forget basketball.
So basketball, so balancing like your social life with like, the 6+ hours that you had to do between school and then the athletics. It was just a lot for my little 18-year-old pea-brain.
I mean, when you think about it in the big scheme of things, I mean, now that we're all much older than 18, when we look back at 18-year-old versions of ourselves, you're like, that person is a moron. Like, they don't know anything.
Oh, yeah.
They like, you look at what you know now, and I've said it 1,000 times on this podcast, is like, I feel like I didn't wake up till like 25.
Right.
And so 18, I'm like, I don't even remember what my thought process was on. I was just kind of like going through the motions and just a blur.
There was no thought process.
Right. And so I'm just like, it's so crazy that we like, and I guess it's a good thing too, but it's like you send this kid off to college all by himself, and it's just like, figure it out. You got classes you got to show up for. You got coaches you got to report to.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Homework that nobody's making you do.
Right.
And you have to still find food, shower, all your
take
laundry.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I don't even know if I could handle that.
Yeah.
And so
Kyle was like, I guess I'm not going to shower this week.
Laundry.
Laundry, no, it's not going to happen.
This stuff hasn't fallen off of me yet. It's fine. So what would you say was your biggest highlight at Drake? Did you have like any certain games that like stick out?
Tell me about D1.
Yeah. Like,
what is that like to play in a D1 like
team?
Yeah.
For me, it was a dream come true because, you watch these teams on TV, like during March Madness, you watch like the Duke or like North Carolina or like, these really big time teams. And, I wasn't at like a high major school like that, but, you're still playing Division I. You're still playing at like a super high level.
Right.
And it's, it is like those cool moments that you see on TV, but it's also just a really, really intense environment.
Yeah.
Everybody in terms of like my team is just where, you're just all working towards a common goal, and it's just like grueling practices, multiple times a day. And you're just competing at a super, super high level.
Yeah. You probably don't with the athletics, you probably don't have like a lot of time to dick around too.
There really isn't much time.
2-a-days and then trying to sleep and trying to eat and homework and all that stuff. It's not
laundry and shower. I mean, we've been through it all.
Well, it's like it doesn't leave you a lot of time to like chase girls and like go drinking.
No, we still made some time for it though.
If there's a will, there's a way.
Right.
That's what we always say.
Yeah.
Did you get to play against any big names when you were that are like big names now?
Big names now. A lot of like the NBA season's really kind of similar to the NFL season. You play about 10 years, and it's been about
right. I was going to say it's kind of a little late now. For
Michael Jordan, ever heard of him?
Yeah,
Kyle,
LeBron James.
But we played against LeBron James's. They're making a movie about LeBron James in high school right now,
right?
And I played against all of his teammates at University of Akron.
Nice.
So I thought that was.
So you're gonna be watching this movie.
I'm gonna watch this movie. Like we beat them.
Yeah.
You see that guy?
See that? Yeah.
That guy was a loser.
He was modeled after me, obviously. That's me back there. Yeah.
Exactly.
So what happens after Drake then? Like how does that all wrap up? You how many years did you go there, and then what happened next?
So Drake was 3 years, and it was, like I said, it was an intense environment, and our team environment was really kind of it was really competitive too. And between that and then just me kind of being away from home, and just like I didn't have the mental as like a 20-year-old kid to be able to kind of maintain the momentum. You asked about like highlights. I had my freshman year, I was like a newcomer of the week, and I had like a stint of maybe like 3 really, really good games where I was like averaging like 22 points a game.
From a weird country called Metlakatla.
And then,
that's really good.
It was sick. I was really stoked. I finally kind of started getting into a groove, and then all of a sudden the conference season played. Mm-hmm. And in college, like once you start getting that kind of attention, like your opponents are just going to put all that attention on you, and I just didn't have the tools.
You're getting double teamed and everything.
Exactly, you just didn't have the tools to like counter.
Damn.
Yeah.
So like my little window of glory kind of just got shut down pretty quick.
I mean, but that's not bad though. I mean, like
at least you had one.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
My window of glory is
when I was 7. I
did basketball for 1 year in high school. It was 6 guys on the team, right? So mostly it was 5 guys the whole game, and in front of the whole community, we're a home game. The gym is about a volleyball size. Yeah, and I scored over 40 points against a really bad team. But that's my glory moment.
It was in the news.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
But that was like my moment of glory. Like really bad team against a really awful team.
Yeah.
But like you were D1, you were in college. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, thousands of kids go to this school, I would imagine. Yeah. So it's a pretty big school. You said it was private, but
we played against some high major schools too. So I mean, Iowa and Iowa State are some really big schools there.
Yeah. So I mean, like my little high school day, like one day, and then you with D1 up here. I mean, that's pretty damn big.
Well, I also had one.
No.
Wait, I was just a little lower at my school. I was in the J.A.M league, which stood for Jesus and Me. So I was on the red team, and
what did you guys do?
We played basketball. It was the Jesus and Me league, J.A.M. So I just remembered I was kind of
time to jam.
Yeah. Space Jam. I was somewhat of a sniper. I was 0 for 30 from the free throw line.
I love how I put myself down here.
Mine's just,
you were just like a little above.
The Jesus and Me league was not a joke.
It's like D1, Jesus and Me. Yeah.
So I don't know about you guys, but those were some
Jesus and Me league.
Yeah.
God, I
said a prayer every time before we started.
Why am I hearing about this right now?
Yeah. I thought you would have read about it in the news, to be honest. I thought there was a highlight.
God.
Sports Center was there a lot for some of the plays that we were pulling off. So Jesus didn't help me a whole lot out on the basketball court.
Oh, damn.
I feel bad because my dad loves basketball. Big Laker fan his whole life. Would come to every game.
R.I.P. to them this weekend.
I know.
Or this past week.
He was not upset. And my brother-in-law, they're all Laker fans. They were, real sad. But he would come to the games and he's like, oh, man, you just got to go, get a layup here, try to get some points for the team because you guys are losing. And I'm like, don't worry. Jesus is going to help. And I just remember I made a layup and he was just like, so proud of me for like scoring. I'm like,
that's my son. That's my son. That's my son.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
That's my boy. So, we've all had our glory days, So
right.
I do love the shirt though.
Oh, thank you.
Did you get that made?
You know what?
It's a
gal from my gym.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the old dump truck daddy.
I feel like this belongs to you.
I feel like, it's some copyright infringement going on, but whatever, Who did it? Oh, you don't have to say it. Yeah.
No, I'll say it.
Oh, okay.
It was Jasmine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'll allow it because probably throw me.
She probably would pick you up and throw you.
Yeah, because she's strong.
Yeah.
But so we've all had our basketball days.
Yeah.
Some of us at a little higher level.
I think you were at the higher level.
The highest level is like
Can
NBA.
you take
I was
me
wrong.
higher? That was our national anthem. Actually. Please stand for the national anthem. Yeah. So
National anthem.
When dreaming.
yeah.
It's just like a 3.5 minute national anthem.
Can you take me higher?
Taking hats off.
That is era appropriate, though.
I loved it. That was a great song. So you were getting double teamed out on the court, it sounds like. and you couldn't handle it.
I couldn't handle the double team.
You just needed some Jesus and me.
I did.
Yeah.
I needed something.
Some jam.
I needed some jam.
And so that obviously kind of put some stress on your ability to perform as a college freshman. Yeah, that was hard. That created a lot of momentum for my sophomore season. Mm-hmm.
Sophomore season went really well. Junior season was kind of up and down, and I was just kind of starting to feel the burnout of just like the demands of all the things that we just talked about.
Yeah.
Laundry, taking showers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
You were the smelly kid.
Yeah.
I haven't washed my underwear.
I haven't washed my underwear. Yeah, exactly.
Underwear? You're wearing that?
I just went and I was like, Coach, I can't take this anymore.
Yeah.
And so you felt a draw back home?
I felt a draw back home. I was kind of realizing that how, when I first got to Drake, I learned really fast that making it to the NBA was a pretty far reach.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of started thinking about, what else? What else could be out there?
What's a backup plan?
Yeah, what's a backup plan? I kind of always had a backup plan in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I was to be like a physical therapist.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, I was just gonna be done with basketball by the end of my junior year, and I was gonna pursue physical therapy school.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd go back home to Metlakatla in the summertime, summer before my senior season. UAA called me, and they offered me a scholarship basically on the spot. They said we have a chance to be really good, and we ended up making it to the Final Four here.
Yeah, I remember that.
We became one of those, like one of the legendary teams.
The Cinderella story.
Yeah. Here at UAA, and it was definitely a cool like redemption story. From as far as I'm concerned, like the guy that left home and then he came back home, and we had like a really good season, a really good turnout, and it was just a really cool experience. Then after that, we went right into I was done. I didn't want to play professionally, and so I just went to school, and so that's where I met you.
Yeah. And I mean, that was right after that year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Because you were kind of riding the cool guy wave, and like, I was like, oh, that's Chris Bryant. He's playing basketball.
Oh, so you knew him before you knew
like
him?
just because like Dustin and everybody.
You were popular.
Yeah, Gabe Meisner and all that.
Yeah.
And
we were all in
they
the
were
same
always
program.
like, I was always like, yeah, Chris will never look at me. He won't ever be, maybe if I wear my J.A.M. shirt.
If you told me you were in the J.A.M. league.
Yeah, I would have been probably
wearing his
starting
WWJD bracelets over here.
We did have those. So then you had to kind of become just a student then, right? After that, and
just
then
one of us normies.
One of a normie.
My fiance was kind of in a similar boat too.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank
This is the
you.
first time I've seen you since you got engaged.
Yeah.
You're engaged now? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I kind of texted him when it happened, so.
Yeah, so she was, she was,
whatever.
She was a volleyball player, but they call themselves NARPs when they're done. Like no non-athlete.
Regular
peon or something.
It's very similar to NARC.
NARC. Yeah.
NARC.
Yeah,
NARC.
You're a NARP or you're a NARP. Yeah. So yeah, I was figuring out how to live as a NARP.
And so you went for, what was your degree in?
So my degree was in physical education.
Right.
They didn't have like a pre-physical therapy kind of program, so that was about the closest thing you can do for it. So yeah, I basically just I ended up pursuing that degree and playing lots of ping pong.
Oh yeah,
Lots of partying.
down in the student
Hang out
union,
with
man.
this guy.
hanging
Oh,
out
boy.
with this stallion over here.
Do you have a story?
Wearing white jeans.
Do you have a story, a Kyle story that like sticks out? Like good, bad?
Yeah.
Man,
Give me.
where do I start?
Yeah.
Give me like one that like the one that just popped into your brain just now.
God, I was gonna say there's some like me and Chris have several packs.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that
not
we-
watching the podcast, he's paused.
Yeah.
He has one in his brain.
There's some stories.
but he's hesitating.
Yeah, I'm hesitating for no other reason than there's just like a lot of
Kyle's dignity.
there's Kyle's dignity and there's good amounts of vomit.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's always vomit. I don't know.
Yeah,
I never thought of myself as a puke guy,
yeah.
but it seems when I drink too much,
Puke guy.
I let puke out.
Everybody starts chanting.
Yeah.
Like, all right, this is my thing now.
Yeah, there's just we were in an interesting time because we were, and we've talked about this, is the Klein brothers rented a place and you were renting as well in Casablanca.
Yep.
The
right
condos.
across from the Alaska Club.
Club E.
Romantic.
Yep.
Yes, and this place was a mess. Like there,
It's the understatement.
yeah, just
So
a lot of stories happen there
Bummed
that
I
we
missed
can't
it.
even
I'm bummed I missed it.
talk about, but it's a lot of stuff that we laugh about even to this day. Chris and I would be at the gym because Chris also was training me for probably close to like a year and a half or two.
yeah.
And we would be sometimes the only ones in there at noon and we would just reminisce and be like, man, we're getting so freaking old.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this was 15 years ago that we were, 21 or
Yeah.
22. And it's like, you kind of have to tell those stupid, vulgar stories again, just to like kind of remind yourself that you were young and like,
Live
whether it
those
was
glory
good or bad.
days.
I don't even know that I would consider them like glory days, but it's almost like you have to talk about the past so like you don't forget it, that it's a part of you kind of thing.
yeah.
I don't know why. Like I just always find myself doing that, like talking about stuff that happened, just maybe so I don't forget it.
Yeah.
So I can learn a lesson from it, of course,
Yeah. Just to learn a lesson.
Absolutely. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
And so, so college was fun. I would say we had a lot of really good times. We played, I forget what an athlete I was. First time.
Here we
Intramural
go.
volleyball.
Intramural volleyball, intramural basketball,
Yeah.
spring team challenge.
Did you do dodgeball with us at the Mormon church?
I don't think. No, I didn't do it with you
That
guys.
was a wild time. I mean, we would murder some kids with those balls. But
No, I believe it.
yeah, so I mean, college was in Alaska. Is a lot of people always think like it's not the same as like going to like Drake or one of these
Right.
bigger, but UAA has its own fun. It really does.
It really does.
You got the Blue Fox nearby,
You got
That
the Blue
you-
Fox. You got. I mean, everything's just kind of
in that vicinity.
It's in the vicinity.
Right. And I remember we would go, finals week was a very popular time to be like, I'm done studying in the student union. Let's go to the Blue Fox and then get mystery shots.
Yep.
And they were like whatever it was in a brown paper bag. And I think it was like $3 for a shot. And they didn't tell you what it was.
Nope.
And so a buddy of ours, Dan, I don't remember his last
Squid.
No, other Dan, he was a skier.
Yeah, Dan McKay.
McCann,
Yeah.
yes. And
He
he
was a
would just,
beast.
I know, he would just buy like, oh, okay, yeah, we're just doing like 7 mystery shots. And we're like, I got to study. And
Oh God.
just the typical college stuff that was like fun to reminisce on. But
Yeah.
so,
I don't know.
You
About
had-
those mystery shots.
yeah, it was not a great idea. It was probably
Yeah.
garbage. But so you wrap up college.
Mhm.
What happens after college then?
So college, I'm kind of just like at the same time, like as we're going through college, and during the time afterwards, it was just kind of like
Up in the air.
it was up in the air. I was kind of like there's just like a lot of uncertainty. I just kind of just hit this like, what am I gonna do with my life? And so while all this is happening, I'm just like, just like partying.
Oh yeah.
Just to kind of
It's a good distraction.
it's a good distraction from
because everybody's doing it.
everybody's doing it.
Nobody knows what they want to do.
Nobody knows what they want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, so I was in that realm. I'd play basketball recreationally, and it's fun to just kind of like whoop up on everybody, and
Yeah. Do you know who I am?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Basketball? What's basketball?
Yeah, how do you even-
Exactly.
I don't know. You try to make it in that hole up there? That seems hard.
That's exactly what he would do.
Fucking hustler you were. That's
Yeah.
how you were making your money. That's how you got into entrepreneurship.
That's exactly how I did.
Yeah. You're like, man, this entrepreneurship, I'm making a business here. I'm killing it. Fuck. Let's speak about entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I mean that's where it's headed.
Yeah, I mean
to.
that's where you were headed with that question. I could tell.
Yeah. So I worked for a health organization here in town for about 10 years, and I started as an exercise physiologist. So I mean, it's just it's kind of like a glorified personal trainer for people with at risk, folks with like diabetes or if they don't. It's kind of like that client is like if they don't change their lifestyle, they're going to lose a limb, they're going to lose an eye, or the quality of their life is going to be significantly impacted.
Sure.
So that was like having that exposure first was it was pretty powerful because seeing people like in that vulnerable of a state, just kind of if they can get through that, or if I can help in any way, to coach them through like such a trying time in their life, if I wanted to personal train somebody to help them get into like a size 2, like that's just like, it's something easy to do, or I can do anything, right?
The stakes are a little lower.
Stakes are a little bit lower. Yeah. So, I guess I got into entrepreneurship just by, one, I wanted autonomy of my time.
Yeah.
I love the freedom of just being able to make your own schedule. I like that. It goes back to that purpose. Like it just kind of, it's a lot more grounding working for yourself. And as long as you have I had the clarity of like what I wanted to do, for the most part. And I just figured I had the confidence and a little bit of retirement saved up to like, I used some of that to kind of get my business started.
Right.
So, I mean, being in that space for 10 years, I made like I took a bit of a calculated risk. I didn't have any children. I wasn't married yet. So, I mean, just entrepreneurship was just kind of something that I always thought I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And
so was that the invention of CB training then?
CB training came along in around like 2018, and it kind of started when I was like I was training my ex-girlfriend at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was training her for Miss Alaska, and she ended up having a lot of success there. And I was like, hey,
I'm good at this.
I'm good at this.
Yeah.
And then from there, that's kind of where the business launched. I got a studio. I met you. You and I connected around there.
Yep.
Steven, shout out to you. You made my logo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Long time ago.
I recall.
Back in the day. Yeah. I was gonna say because like I remember because I was like, damn, I'm doing these videos. I need to look fit on these videos. I want to look good. And I was like, oh, Chris can make me look good. So I started going to you training, and we did it for a while.
Yeah, we trained for a bit.
And then as you can see, I fell off the wagon a little bit. But it was like I still remember some of those days, and I still pass where your studio is, and I'm like, I think about the times where we would do it during the winter, but then like it would start to like get spring out, summer out, and then you'd open up the door.
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
Oh man, I just remember
when that garage door opens.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother gym.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother vibe.
People
It's
are trying
good.
to lay in the sun on
Yeah.
But I also remember getting my ass kicked, dude.
Yeah.
You like did not hold back. You're good. I mean, it's good. And so I remember just like you were my first kind of foray into like training and what that looks like, and going multiple times a week or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
I think with you though too, I think you responded well to it because, basically you said, first of all, you said, Chris, I need you to kick my ass.
Yeah.
But two, like, I mean, yeah.
No, not that way.
No. But yeah, I mean, you just, it's what you asked for. So
Yep.
It's what you get.
yeah,
Yeah, Chris almost killed me.
Yeah.
There was
it was that
literally?
sled.
It was the sled.
Yeah.
I was pushing in the parking lot, and he was like going back and forth.
I have
and
that video somewhere.
And I mean, after we were done,
Wait, what?
a sled, like a metal piece that's got like skis on the bottom.
Oh,
that
and then you're
push
pushing it
with
and it has
like
weights
its
on
weights
it?
on
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And so we were supposed to like push it and then pull it back or something like 5 times. And I was like,
in the cold, you were doing
this was like summertime.
Summertime, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was damn, you're heartless.
I was so out of, it would have been much better to do on snow, I think. But I got done and I was like, I thought I was going into cardiac arrest or something. Like I could not catch my breath. I was like, so
damn.
I was just like, if I could say your name right now, I'd kill you.
So Kyle told me not to kill him.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Well, you succeeded.
So that was one of the, that was like, I don't know why we decided to do that.
I don't remember.
You were talking about Ben Patrick, I think.
Yeah, about knees over toes or something. And regardless, I remember that one specifically because I was like, the thing about working out and maybe even sports in general is anytime you start feeling cocky, like I'm kind of doing pretty good, you realize that like there is several levels above you of skill or performance wise. Like as soon as you start feeling strong, not that you should compare yourself to anybody else, but you do have to realize that there is always somebody doing it different.
Yeah, there's always I'm experiencing that right now. I started doing jiu-jitsu again.
Oh yeah.
Damn, cool.
Yeah, and I don't know jack shit. But then, I went in one day and there was just like another white belt who's just as brand new as me. And
he got good.
And no, we came in at the same time, and I was able to kind of, I was kind of getting the best of him. And then 5 minutes later, we go to the next,
Oh yeah.
When you're like rolling, you kind of
switch partners.
You switch partners, and then so I get to this next partner, and he was a blue belt, about the same size, same kind of shape as this guy who's a white belt. And he just mops the floor with me.
Yeah.
What's as a blue belt next step up?
Yep.
Blue belt's the next step up. Okay. Yeah.
Oh man.
He just made you look like a fool.
Made me just look like a fool.
Yeah, that's honestly, jiu-jitsu is something I love boxing, right?
Yeah.
I've been boxing a couple times a week now. And like, as soon as they are like, all right, kick the bag, I'm like, I become like,
what's a kick?
Yeah, I'm like awful immediately. It's like drumming. I can drum with my hands, but then as soon as you add the feet in, I'm like so uncoordinated.
Yeah.
So it's like hands. I'm like, I'm Apollo Creed. It's like whatever. And then like as soon as I'm like, they're like kick. I'm like, nope, can't do it. Can't do it. I remember when we were like training, me and you, and it was just me and you for a while. And like once in a while we'd have friends come over and like,
Mitchlandia.
Mitchlandia came over.
Mitchell would come over?
Yeah. Winston came over.
Winnie Pig?
Oh, Winnie Pig.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think there was like another one or two. I think you came over once before you started training.
I think I maybe came once.
But I remember that we would talk about like entrepreneurship and like content and like social media because I was like vlogging every week. And so I was kind of in that zone every day for myself, but also for business. And Cut and Caliber was at that time too. And so like, where did you think, you said you had the two things like autonomy of time and so on, but like what keeps you going forward in entrepreneurship and like pushing forward and then starting, and then what was it that like in the beginning where you were like, okay, this is working. My business is okay. This is the thing.
I can't think of any one particular thing. And when I first started, all I could think about is just kind of similar to basketball. I just dreamed.
Yeah.
And, just kind of, I had like a broad strokes vision of me being able to work for myself. I told you like I wanted to be like an ambassador for Lululemon.
Yeah.
But before that was the thing.
We didn't even mention that in the male model.
I wanted to get to that too, because that is such a cool moment. And I messaged you this as soon as I saw this on Instagram that you became a Lululemon ambassador. Yeah. Which back in the day when we were doing this, I was like, oh, what are your goals? What are your dreams? And that was one of your dreams. Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit. Like that's on your Instagram profile now. Like it's your thing. Like you did it. You achieved it. Like,
you're in the store on the wall.
Yeah. Your picture is on the wall, which is, it's kind of cool. And it's like you, Elisa Marie.
Yeah.
And it's like really rad to see, like, I walk in there, I'm like,
I just walk in there.
I know this guy.
Yeah.
I know him. And like,
I miss you, Chris.
Nobody
I miss you, man. Did he die?
Sir, is he
no,
dead?
he's fine, actually. He's doing great. He just doesn't talk to me anymore.
Just haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
No, I remember because we were talking about like, dreams and goals and stuff like that. So I thought that was like the coolest thing when you finally achieved that. I was like, fuck, he did it.
Yeah. As you know, just like as I'm just like looking back and having this conversation, I mean, just having like being able to visualize has been a strength for me. It's like it served me like for the basketball dream, and then this entrepreneurship dream that I'm still trying to like still chugging along with.
Every day is kind of a new challenge in that whole realm. Because you gotta. I mean, last time we talked, you were kind of looking at like doing some like online courses kind of thing.
Yeah.
You do have the opportunity to work with different, because of your background, you get to go to different places and teach classes and stuff like that still, right?
That's right.
And so what is that kind of, what's the luxury of that, getting to go to different villages to either do basketball camps or do fitness and different types of classes out there?
I'd say the luxury of it is just being able to, it's like really rewarding because it's almost like you're seeing like little me's or like
you're going out to places like
Metlakatla that, all they have is this, and you get to provide that experience for that community.
And so what do you get to do out there? Like you're teaching them.
Yeah. Tell people who don't know anything about this and like tell them what it is.
So another part of what I do in my business is I do basketball camps in villages, and usually there's two components to it. One of them is the basketball camp, which is about a week long, and then we do the little kind of spin that I put on it is I add strength and conditioning to it, which was the weakest part in my game. So being able to just kind of like give back something that I didn't have and share it with the community has been just kind of like a really cool, rewarding thing, that you get to do in entrepreneurship. You get to like manifest and, make something out of nothing.
Yeah. Because a lot of those kids, I mean, if you don't do it, I mean, maybe somebody else would, but if not, like a lot of these kids that maybe have the dream of or college sports or something like that may never even pursue it without like seeing an example of somebody that's done it.
Yeah.
And so, it's like there's the benefit of helping kids like find sports and community and all that stuff, but you never know who you might like reach out to in these different villages that were just waiting for the right like mentor or role model to like be like, you know what, that guy was from a small community too, and he went and played D1 scholarship kind of thing. And so that's kind of cool that you could be like, man, you never know who you've left a mark on essentially in all these different places.
Yeah, and then those types of opportunities just kind of take on a life of its own.
I've been thinking of doing a Jesus and Me circuit.
Sign me up.
Yeah. Guys, you never know what's possible. You could
J.A.M.
Can I get in on this? Can I?
Do you guys need a demo? I think I still.
I could just hear the introductions right now.
It'd be like Stanley on The Office, like
Stephen Cornfield once scored 40 points.
Yeah,
and like I have a banner, lights turn off. You hear like dun 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 dun. Now Stephen Cornfield, who's once scored 40 points in his high school game.
The other team didn't even show up, so he was playing out there by himself for about 47 minutes. It was a barn burner.
Stephen Cornfield.
That would be
just
wild.
Come through. There's like 5 kids.
I see it now. I think there's a video idea in there somewhere.
That's actually not a bad video idea.
That isn't a bad idea.
We should write that down.
Yeah. So I feel like we've touched on your life and kind of the whole cycle of how you've gotten to now where you are with CB training. Like one of the things I kind of wanted to dive into was like, I have a lot of questions about just like health and wellness and stuff that like I just would love your feedback on or your advice to people.
How do we look?
How do we look? I don't want to go there yet.
Do we look like we're the age that we are?
I got Mexico coming up in 5 months, and how do I drop 27 pounds? Okay, go. No. And it doesn't have to be healthy. Just tell me how.
We're looking for like...
It doesn't have to be like mentally healthy, but...
The title of this podcast, we want it to be super clickbaity.
Yeah.
Like 5 ways to lose 100 pounds in 5 months.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, some of the things I think about is... what do you tell somebody like that comes in, for example, like, let's just say you have somebody like me that's like, I want to get in shape for the summer. I need summer abs and all that stuff. Do do you have kind of like some core advice that you give people, like 3 things, like, obviously you can say eat better, work out, but like, do you kind of have some Chris Bryant tips that you give people to like, you gave me like a recipe one time when I was complaining about like muscle soreness.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
It was something cocktail.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the
recovery cocktail.
Yeah.
And so like, I always think like, what is something like if somebody's listening and they're like, hey, summer's already kind of almost here, but like, I really want to kind of like lose a few pounds over the next few months. Like, what would you kind of give as advice? As we're not doctors, so we can't say anything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And just to
and this is, you can preface it with
Yeah, I mean, if this is just like for just
general,
just pretend that this is someone that just
you're
wants
talking to me, You're telling Kyle the hard truth.
Kyle.
Well, you're kind of fat in the mid region.
You can put the beer down that you're drinking.
First things first, the IPA, the hot dogs at the golf course.
Let the record show this apple juice. Much better.
Very frothy. Apple juice.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that if you're, if I'm like talking to you and you're and you wanted to lose some fat.
Yeah. So let's say I'm not working out at all.
Yeah.
My diet is mediocre at best. Like, what are some things you would tell me to like start watching out for and maybe doing?
So if you and I are going to work together, you and I would probably work, 3 days a week, and then I would give you like 1 or 2 things that you believe that you can do successfully.
Okay.
So list one of those things that you.
Let's say I'm eating ice cream every Friday night, and a lot of it. So if you're eating a dangerous amount.
Oh my God!
All right,
are you speaking?
This is a joke.
This is all hypothetical, guys.
It's not mint chocolate chip ice cream with it. No,
so yeah, nutrition coaching. That's that's like the bane of a lot of. It's a challenging thing just because it's so individual,
right? Yeah.
But if it was in this case, if it was you eating ice cream every day,
that'd be the first thing that's go.
I wouldn't say it's something that that has to go. I would say that is there a portion that you can either dial it back from, or is there another place in your diet that you can
erase some calories
from? Yeah.
So like, would you put me on a specific number to hit each week or day for calories?
That terrifies me.
Counting calories
because it can lead to a mental spiral, and that there's
obsession about.
There's some folks that that just don't do well with it, and so I mean that's just a matter of me getting to know you. But like say you did like calorie counting. I would give you I'd give you a formula, something along the lines of like your body weight times 15 pounds. That's just kind of like a general. That's your maintenance calories. That's how much it takes for you to like burn
operate on a
daily basis.
Yeah,
and I would put you on a miniature calorie deficit of like 400 to 500 calories, where you're going to burn, maybe 200 just from training with me and either getting some steps in or doing some low impact cardio, steady state cardio, something along those lines. Yeah. And then dialing back a couple hundred calories per day. And, whether it's going to be cutting out the ice cream or the hot dog at the golf course.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because those are things like, I feel like losing weight and getting in shape is incredibly boring, the truth of it.
Right.
Everybody wants kind of this miracle drug or miracle workout that's going to like make you fit in a week or 2 weeks, if you're feeling, patient.
And that's been like
that's the whole industry.
That's the whole industry, and then, the trick for us is like trying to be able to deliver that without like not delivering it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like if making like a video that's like how to lose fat, how to lose fat in like a month,
right?
Or 10 days.
And I always fall into those holes.
Right. Like, it sounds lovely.
Like I mean, there are like YouTube videos, and I'm like, okay, like I get really motivated for like short amount of time, right? So like when you were saying like counting calories, I actually would get really into counting calories for like a week,
right?
And then after that, I'm just like, I run into I go out to dinner and I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't know. And then, of course, it's just domino effects.
Right.
And so, like, I'll get really motivated and I'll, like, start watching videos. Like, okay, all right. I'll start doing it, maybe going to the gym for a week. But, like, my thing is, like, how do I keep that up? How do I keep motivated? And, like, because I think you said early on, you're like mind and body, you can't do one without the other.
100%. Yeah.
And so, I mean, like, I'm more curious about the mental game that you play in your head, because I feel like that's where you win and you lose. Right. For me, at least. Yeah. So I mean, when it comes to like staying motivated, you know, there's motivation is just kind of like it's temporary and it's kind of like elusive. There's just days where you just don't want to train. Yeah. And that's like 7 days a week. It happens to everybody. Yeah. Right. And it's a real thing. But there's little tricks that I like to do. One of them is just systems over goals. So it's just this principle that you have a system in place. So things like setting your shoes out the night before you go to the gym. Like say you want to having things in your calendar, having a buddy for accountability. Just kind of finding ways to hack yourself into actually changing the behavior.
Right. Yeah. Kyle, like a lot of people.
Kyle, I don't want to go to the gym today.
Exactly.
Kyle has his notifications on Do Not Disturb.
Kyle,
help me. But like a lot of people, like I always read, like put their running shoes and their shorts and their t-shirt like next to their bed.
Next to their bed.
So that like as soon as you wake up, you put that on, you brush your teeth, and then you have to go.
Right.
And I feel like I had hacked it for a year and a half. And then what I seem to run into, which probably everybody does eventually, is something comes up in your life that kind of throws you off.
Right.
And then it's like it's like all of the air goes out of the balloon.
Yeah.
Like you're done.
What was it for you, Kyle?
It was I threw out my back. And then the next week, I know. Then the next week I had a vasectomy, and then I hurt my shoulder a week after that.
Yeah.
And so it was like I hadn't trained in 3 weeks, and then it was like, well, I can't get back on because now I've just lost all my gains or whatever I had done for the past year and a half.
That's your stopping point right there. That's like that's like the kink right there. Was your
like I felt like it would be like, now I got to work doubly hard to get back to even where I was.
Yeah.
Like that's the part that sucks. And I feel like I was just like, well, eventually I'll get back on it. And that's kind of where I've been sitting in limbo and been distracted by everything else. Is like, oh, we're trying to get everything else going. I don't have time for the gym, but I have time to like practice golf. And, I make priorities for certain things.
Right.
I mean, everybody does.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing is like, I've just replaced the gym with other things.
Yeah.
And even though I feel guilty because I know that should be a priority.
Yeah.
Not just because like the thing that I loved always talking with you about was like, I was never in it to like get the Men's Health cover kind of body, like trying to get shredded and ripped and super strong. Like I just wanted to think more about like longevity. Like I want to get to my 50s and 60s if I make it and nothing happens to me between now and then in a graceful fashion where my body still works.
And listen to yourself about that. Like listen to what you just said. Like that was your goal and you did it for a year and a half.
Right.
And then, it sounds like once you broke your back, you got the vasectomy and the shoulder kind of went out.
Yeah. The things that I'm like trying to
things that you're trying
to not have happen to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, those were temporary things.
Right.
But it's like I lost all the steam and momentum of what I had built up. And then it was like, I was like, God, I don't want to freaking start over and like take it slow again. And it's almost like,
But you're not really starting over though.
You're not. I mean, the knowledge and like.
The knowledge, but then your body remembers, like your body physically remembers, like if you came back to noon class.
Yeah.
And this isn't just me selling you to come back to my class.
I was a nooner, baby.
But your body's going to remember that year and a half of work you did. And like I went back to jiu-jitsu and I still remember how to like pull a guard and I remember like some of the techniques and stuff. Your body's going to remember that stuff.
It'll be a shorter frame of learning.
Right.
But it is just kind of demoralizing to me a bit.
Sure.
That it's just like, God, I got steps up and then I just move some steps back, not all the way,
Yeah.
but it's just like that idea of reversing
Yeah.
does hurt my brain.
Yeah. So your guys' question was like, okay, Chris, how do you keep going?
Yeah.
And like in my mind, I think like super, super long term.
Sure.
Like kind of the way that you were thinking in terms of just like, all right, I want to be able to train. Just want to keep doing these things that I want to do. I want to be able to keep playing golf for a long time. I want to be able to keep up with Caroline. Like all of those types
You too?
Yeah, I want to be able to keep up with Caroline when I'm
She's going to be fast.
She's going to be my basketball.
She's going to be the basketball.
She's going to be my basketball at Jam.
She's going to be rolling
At the
around
Jam
on the court.
camp.
Yeah.
Good callback, guys.
Jesus
Good
and me,
callback.
baby. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the way that it works in my mind is I'm playing the long game. Like I'm dealing with a shoulder injury right now. I tore my Achilles last year, and yes,
that was huge.
It was super hard, but I was still able to keep I gained a little bit of weight, because I couldn't do any high impact stuff.
Yeah.
But I still was able to do the ski erg. I was still able to do some stuff with my opposite shoulder. I still got to do stuff outside and go on walks. So it's just kind of like where a big thing that I always told myself was like, whenever there's any kind of like adversity with myself physically, is like, where's the opportunity? Like, what do I have going? What's working right now? And that, that basically keeps me going. So like I was in that boot for like 12 weeks and I was walking around on a scooter. I think, you were there.
Yeah.
I'd do the ski erg and I could do my upper body stuff.
Yeah. And even that, you had to be very careful not to like injure it, especially after. And
we were PRing on our bench presses.
Yeah.
And my Achilles, my Achilles was shit, but like, but there's other ways in strength and conditioning that you can always develop in and become stronger in.
Okay. All right. So say someone like, this is a hypothetical situation again, definitely speaking for a friend, not for myself. What is someone's been out of the game, maybe for a long time. Maybe they're 30 years old. Maybe they're 60 years old. Maybe they're 7 years old. We do have a very old population that listens to this podcast. Shout out to the oldies.
Yeah.
What is some advice you would just give them to like, you know what? Let's start with those systems, with those process, get my shoes next to the door and ready to go.
Yeah.
Or, what's the first step that someone should do?
Some of my
to get better.
So some of my elders or some of my older folks, they're training because they don't want to, once they get injured or if they start getting sick around that age, it's really, really hard to bounce back from.
Mm-hmm.
And so, one thing that I tell them to do is just start walking.
Keep moving.
No, just literally get out and start walking. Walk on the track at the Dome. Here, if you live here in Anchorage, walk outside and just aim for 5,000 steps. 10,000 steps is ideal, but 5,000 steps a day comes up to about 2 miles for me. But once you start doing that and you start to feel a little bit of success, that gains momentum. I'm having incredible success with folks just walking. And if you can walk for like into your like 70s and 80s, you're going to have some really, really healthy outcomes in terms of like, prevention of diabetes, prevention of keeping the blood pressure down, the blood sugar down. There's just a lot of good things you can get from walking. And I kind of use that as a gateway into teaching about strength training. Because a lot of what happens after walking is they'll start to learn about their body.
Mm-hmm.
They'll start to learn like, oh man, my knee's starting to hurt a little bit, or my back's starting to tighten up. So I'm like, okay, now if you want to be able to keep walking like this and keep this momentum going, now you need to start thinking about stretching your body. You need to start thinking about warming it up correctly. You need to start thinking about strengthening these muscles or these areas, because as we from the age of 30, once we turn 30 as humans, our muscle mass starts to deteriorate. And there's been a lot of studies now
Once
where
we hit what?
30, bro.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm on my way down.
We're dying.
We're
literally dying.
We are on our way down.
Our muscles are deteriorating, boys.
Our testosterone's dropping every day.
Yep.
It sucks.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And you could offset it by strength training. You can offset it by by walking and getting it.
I'd rather complain. We're dying.
Or you just complain, yeah.
I just did actually a pretty cool online. I noticed my HSA through my work. I had some extra money sitting in there for my health savings account.
Hey.
And I was like, oh, dope. What can I use
You
this
didn't
on?
get fired from there yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But probably one day. But I get online and I look up like at-home tests for men. And so I found like this one, it's called I'm Aware, and it's like a men's complete wellness test, and it's just the blood test, and it tests like testosterone, vitamin D.
Yeah.
It does like a prostate cancer screening.
Right. Like, do you have to send it off somewhere?
Yeah, they send you the kit. You
so it's like
it's
like a little ancestry thing. Like you do it.
Essentially, yeah. And then they run it through the gamut to tell you all your vitamin D levels, your testosterone percent, and all these different things. And I was like, this might be something like I would do like twice a year, you know?
Did you do it?
Yeah. And it was pretty cool because I was like,
well, how are your levels? Let's share with the folks.
Everything was,
how are those T levels?
Honestly, I think they messed up something with my vasectomy. Like, I think they snipped the wrong cord. To be honest, they burned the wrong thing.
Molly's pregnant again.
Yeah. No, it was a little just below the norm. I think it was like a 4th.
I don't even know what. I don't even know.
All I know is the numbers was between 4 and 8, and I think it's NGL or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
so you're about 50%.
I was 3.96. So I was 50%, just under like. Not bad. But it concerned me because like I've been feeling like fatigue and all these things that are like a sign of low testosterone lately. And I mean, a lot of it is from just not working out, I think too, is not helping. But then like my vitamin D level, I take 10,000 IUs a day.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Well,
10,000?
10 to 20 usually.
I was on that in the wintertime.
Yeah.
10,000.
It helped.
Yeah.
Oh my! I was telling people 6,000, and they were like being like, "Wow, that's a lot." And so I thought I was on the high end.
You should try to take a men's dose. Okay, no. No.
Damn, 10 to 20. Okay,
but literally, I've been on like 10 to 15 for like probably a year and a half.
Do you see a difference? Vitamin D?
I don't know, but my levels were great.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, so at least I know I'm not overdoing it and I'm not underdoing it. But like, I just thought that was cool that like you can order a test. It was like $140, but your HSA, if you have one, covers it. And it could give me all these different readings and stuff that like, I didn't have to go see a doctor, have this weird talk, because I noticed one of the things that pissed me off was I go see my primary care doctor.
Yep.
And I'm like, hey, I want to run some blood tests and he's like, oh, well, and he kind of gave me like, you don't really need to do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, really?
You got to go see a new doctor.
Well,
I hate it when they do
that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't think that's uncommon. I think that, like, depending on your doctor, obviously, but he kind of was running me through the gamut of like, if you want to know what your testosterone is, honestly, it's a big waste of money. Like, and I was just like, really? Like, even if it's, He's like, if I was in the business, I could tell a lot of guys that have low testosterone and make a lot of money off of them by, doing all these things. And I'm just like, you don't really want to run anything. And like, I was just like,
you don't want to,
like,
you don't want to know?
Yeah. I was just like, I kind of feel like I want to know.
That's a lot of like, I just got my bloods drawn a few months ago because it's just like, I think it's good to like know that you're healthy.
Yeah. You should know. Certain levels that you're at.
I think you should do it annually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I went into my doctor's and I was like, got my annual checkup and I was just like, I want to see what's going on in there. I haven't gotten it in years.
Hey, doc,
what's going on inside? I don't know. And he's like, well, let's do some tests,
Vitamin D is low, obviously.
It's not, actually.
I mean, there's nothing like that kind of stuff to motivate you.
Kyle.
You talked about motivation, though,
Yeah.
There's nothing like a good blood test where you're just like, man, it's getting a little low.
Red.
For me, I was like, well, I'm good. I'll just keep eating Philly cheesesteaks.
Hey, doc, how's the liver? Yeah. Honestly, what's it look like in there? Yeah. Because I heard it regenerates, right? Like I'm really
it's easy to get a new one, right?
I'm really counting on it building itself back, So and it does.
That's what happens.
With some milk thistle, right?
And I don't know.
I read about that.
What are you, a witch?
Yeah. Okay.
What are you,
I know about things. certain things. I know about
brewing his stew over
random
here.
things. So if you talk to your doctor, get your blood tests done, even if they deter you from it.
Even if they tell you not to.
Do it anyway.
You don't need to know that.
Don't listen to your doctors. Listen to us.
Yeah, exactly. We almost have doctorates. If you combine all our education.
Chris, what's next, man? What are you working on like that you're excited about coming up in the future? What's something this summer?
Big projects,
ideas,
modeling gigs.
Put it out there into the world. I heard you talking about the universe and put it out there.
I didn't talk about the universe. I just said I visualize
or whatever. I go. I'm spiritual like that.
Okay.
And so put it out there. Like what's coming up? What are you excited about?
Yeah. So I think that there's a new population that I'm getting more interested in, and I think it's a cool opportunity, is strength and conditioning for like high school athletes here in Anchorage. But not only just high school, but I'll also be there's a good chance I'll probably be UAA UAA sports' strength and conditioning coach.
Oh,
damn,
nice.
You're really going hard.
Yeah, so I'd move into there.
Go back, see Wolves.
Go back to the
Green and
Sea Wolf
yellow.
Nation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Green and yellow.
So I'd be doing that, and then doing some strength and conditioning for some high schools here too.
Damn.
Nice.
So full sending into I'll be getting a USA weightlifting certification, and then another big certification for what is it, the certified strength and conditioning specialist.
Do you think Kyle and I could do that? Get certified?
Yeah. Do you have degrees?
No.
Yeah,
Can you lift?
I do.
Do you do squats?
I could do one or
Can
two.
I, can I do squats?
Can I do
The
squats?
question is, can I get up? Okay.
That's a
Yeah,
That's
You
a
can
good
do 'em.
question.
You can do 'em.
I can get down. That's the up part. Yeah, when we start doing, like Steve and I have talked about this many times, is we want to start doing some eventual events, some live stuff.
Oh, that's good. I know where you're going with this. That's
Yeah,
good.
it is good. And so no, I
That
know
is
like
good.
I know like Lulu has like their sweat things on Saturdays at the store where you can
on
Sundays.
Sundays, they'll do like a sweat.
I came to a yoga class of yours.
Yeah.
Way
Yeah.
long ago. Yeah.
And so you're getting
Yeah,
to kind
Lulu.
of put on these like live classes where people can like test things out, see if they like you or the style or the
Right.
workout, whatever. And I mean, like that's super awesome. And we've talked about doing certain events where we have people that have been on the podcast that have a certain set of skills.
Yes.
But like that would be kind of cool, is to have a section where, you know, you can run people through, because I think it is super cool to do some of the different Olympic lifts that you show, because some of those look so easy to do. And then you have somebody just try them with just the bar.
Right.
And then people realize, oh my God, like how do they do this with like
There's no way.
315 pounds or whatever?
I'm
Yeah.
horrible at like the clean jerks or whatever they're
Yeah,
called.
all,
I'm
all
awful
snatches
at
and
those.
everything.
Snatches, not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
So you got to keep your schedule open for one of our events we do. We'll have Elisa Marie there do some yoga and
Yeah,
stuff
of
like
course.
that. But
We haven't talked to her about it, but
she's in-
going there.
She's gonna do it.
She's good for it. Trust me. I'll send the message after. But yeah, we're what are some places you'd want to direct some of the listeners to like check some of your stuff out? What's your social links, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I do a lot on Instagram right now. I'm kind of doing like a reboot of just like how I'm gonna present content. So I took all of my old stuff down, and I just have like two.
Sure.
Oh, damn. You took it all off.
I took it all off, and I'm just kind of like, I want to move right into just like, I want to educate. I want to go like full education and tutorials and stuff. And so
Sweet.
I'll be doing reels that are going to funnel into like a YouTube.
Good.
So like
YouTube channel.
talk us through it.
Yeah, like a funnel of
You get
so-
my curiosity.
Yes.
So what are you gonna do there?
So you click on my if you click on my Instagram, you're gonna see reels of just like, you know, kind of like those little catchy gimmicky things. Like,
Yeah.
But it's gonna be, instead of like a gimmicky thing, it's just gonna be like, you know, five ways to increase your testosterone, for example.
Right.
naturally.
Naturally.
Okay.
Go to
Yeah.
imaware.com.
Yeah. Find out that you're have low T.
Right.
Yeah.
So you go into that, and then, you know, a little link to, you know, come train with me online, or come train with me in person, or watch the full tutorial on YouTube.
I
So,
love that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I know you filming these yourself then?
I have my brother-in-law doing them a little bit.
Yeah.
And then most of the video ones I can do myself, but I might have to hit you up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's really curious.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I always love like talking content with you too, because I feel like we're always like, almost like, all right, we're doing okay, but we can be doing better.
Right.
And how can we be doing better? Like with our social media marketing game, like, because, we both started businesses probably around
the same time. Yeah.
And so it's like, it's kind of fun to see like, me go way up far. I'm just kidding. No, but like go equal. And like, we're like, okay, he's doing this. He's switching it up. You're switching. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Like, damn. All right, I got to switch it up now, So it's fun to watch,
Exactly.
And so I'm excited to see what you got coming out. So CB Training.
CB Training is my Instagram. CB Training's Facebook. And then CB Training YouTube.
And then .com?
And then my website is cbtrainingstudio.com.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Well, man.
Yeah, this was a great little catch up, man.
Yeah.
I know. It sucks that,
And congratulations.
and congratulations on joining the club of married guys. Are you excited?
I'm stoked.
Do you have any plans that you can say?
We don't have any dates set.
Not yet?
Today was like the last day of school. She's a school teacher.
She's all done.
Yeah.
And what grade does she teach again?
3rd grade Spanish immersion.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow. One thing, the one piece of advice I got when I was engaged, only for like 5 months though, right?
Yeah.
Is our photographer for our engagement shoot. She was like, just enjoy saying fiance.
Yeah.
And that was actually the hardest for me to be like, go from girlfriend to fiance.
Yeah.
From fiance to wife, it was like really easy. Like, oh, that's my wife. And like, I was looking forward to that. But girlfriend to fiance, so I was always like, this is my fiance.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was enjoying it.
It's definitely something, it is enjoyable. And it's kind of like like when I introduced her to like somebody that I knew.
Yeah.
Or someone that knows me. That it kind of rolled off the tongue a little strange, but it's cool.
This is my woman.
Yeah. Then there's all of that stuff.
Yeah, because you're like, this is my girl.
This is my
fiance. And then when you get married, then it's like you continue to almost say fiance, and then you're like, you're my wife.
We did it.
Yeah,
we did that damn thing.
It's all crazy.
Yeah.
But we're happy for you.
Thank you.
We are.
Because that's exciting. It's a new chapter. You got a business, you got a fiance, you got the whole
modeling
world.
career.
You're just ready to slam dunk the world, man. My guy, me, Jesus and me, and you. I think that's it for this episode.
How we end
that can't end any better.
Jesus and me
and you.
Oh, that's how we should end every podcast now.
Thanks for tuning in. Kyle and Steven will be back with a new episode next week. In the meantime, check out GoFixYourselfPodcast.com. And remember to always go fix yourself.